What's going on today, YouTube? Rob here. Today's video, I'm coming at you with the deck profile that I took to locals. I ended up going 2-1, and I played 1 Kashtira and 2 Sworsoul mirror matches. I did make some changes from my last Sworsoul deck profile, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. Before we get started, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel, consider leaving a like, commenting on what you might want to see next, especially if you want to see more locals videos. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel for more fun Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and let's get into this. Alright guys, let's get into this deck profile. As you can see, I played Sworsoul for this locals. I didn't really know what to expect, seeing as this was my first time going to this locals. But it's pretty standard deck list. Triple copies of Moye, triple copies of Long Yuan, double copies of Taya, and then I'm playing 3 copies of Ecclesia, which is the honorary Sworsoul. Not much to really say about these. They're really great. Then triple copies of Emergence. I am back on the 1 copy of Sacred Summit. I find that there are a lot of times that this does come up. In my round 3 match, I had Summit with Long Yuan and Taya in my hand, and I did make Baron, and then went Summit for Taya into a Draco Berserker, so it does come up at times. And then lastly, we've got 1 copy of Blackout to round off the Sworsoul cards. Moving on to the Tenyis, triple copies of Ashina, triple copies of Ishuda, and then double copies of Adhara and 1 copy of Shithana. I might bump the Adhara up to 3 and take out the Shithana again. But this ratio for me is pretty good. Without having to worry about stuff like tier, the Shithana becomes live again, and I find it just helps break boards and interrupt your opponent. Having the ability with your Adhara to bring back your banished stuff is really good as well. And then Ashina and Vishuddha are just staples in the deck for Tenyi stuff. Moving on to my hand trap lineup, we've got triple copies of Imperm, triple copies of Ash, and triple Effect Veiler. I might cut Ash and Veiler just because talents, but I didn't have talents used on me at this locals, so I don't know. Right now, this is still good, and it does help interrupt your opponents and have them do different lines. And then, so not much I would really change about that. And then I'm playing double copies of talents again, back on double copies of Dragon Circle, and then lastly double copies of Desires. The Heavenly Dragon Circle also came up in my round 3 matchup, where I activated the I activated Long Yuan in hand because I had a token that got banished, and so I Heavenly Dragon circled either the token or something else, or I had or I summoned a Moye that got impermed, but I Heavenly Dragon circled to tribute to add a Long Yuan, and that helped me push for game that match. So it does come up, and I'm glad that I had it in. But that rounds off the main deck. Perfect 40 cards. There are some things I might change, like I might add Book of Moon to the main deck. But again, like I said, for this event, I had no idea what to expect. Let's move on to my extra deck here. Pretty standard. 1 copy of Yazi. Helps give you access to your Sworsoul engine late game. And, you know, a non-targetable monster is really great. Yeah, not much to really say about that. I didn't summon it, but it does come in handy at times. Double copy of Shijiao. Pretty standard for the deck, playing 2 copies. Plus, if you're playing cash, they might rip a copy, so good to have. And then double copies of Oxia. This does come up, and did come up a few times, where I made one Voxia with Taya and a token, and then used the effect to pop targeting Moye to make another one. But when that did come up, my opponent scooped. But still good to know. Then the one copy of Draco Berserker. This card is awesome. Yes, it's banish on an opponent's monster effect activation. But the thing that kind of sucks about it is it's not a negate, but it is a banish, so it does help. And then if this attacks, it gains attack equal to the destroyed monster and can make a second attack in a row. My opponent did misplay. They Draco Berserkered my Sinister Long Yuan, got the attack boost, and then didn't attack my Draco Berserker of the Tenyi with the attack boost. And then that allowed me to actually go for game on my following turn. So something to keep in mind for Sworsoul players. Then my last 8 is Crimson Blader. Again, didn't know what to really expect. I was kind of expecting more cash matchups. But I played cash once, and they basically bricked both games as one hand trap, and they were screwed. But this is really good because if it destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, your opponent cannot normal or special summon level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn, which is awesome. And then moving on, we've got one copy of Chen Ying, one copy of Sinister Long Yuan. Burn damage comes in handy. I've played this and pretty much not into Nibiru, which is fantastic. I wasn't really expecting it, as it's kind of falling out of play right now. And then Chen Ying comes up at times as well. But yeah, not much I really have to say about that. And then last 10, we've got the one copy of Barone. This is a really great card. Don't have to say anything about that. Other than in round 3, I had a play where I had Barone on board with, I think it was the Draco Berserker. I don't exactly remember what happened. It was like I normal summoned something. I normal summoned, I believe, a Moye, revealed Adhara from my hand. My opponent's Draco Berserkered, Shijiao'd to negate. So I used Barone, I think I used Draco Berserker, or Barone. I forget. I think it was Barone. I used Barone to negate that. They used their Draco Berserker to banish my Barone, which was fine. And then I used my Berserker to banish their Berserker. I think that's how it went down. Leaving them with just their copy of Shijiao, which was negated due to Barone. So came up a few times as well. And then lastly, this card didn't come up for my synchros, is Psychic End Punisher. There have been times where I found I've had a token on board, and I have Tenyi in hand, usually Ashina or Vishida. So those plus a level 4 token gives you Psychic End, which is really great. Doesn't come up very often, but there are times where it does come up. And then for the Link lineup, triple copies of Monk and the one copy of Shaman.
I didn't make Shaman at all, and I only made Monk once, maybe twice. Um, but they do come up, especially late game. And then these are just my tokens. And then moving on to the side deck, I changed this up from what I've had for the last little bit. Still have triple copies of Droplet, triple copies of Nib. Again, didn't know really what to expect, but I was kind of expecting more cash matchups. Um, but this is really great for playing against a lot of other decks, so I kept that. Um, and then I put in triple Gamma Seal because sometimes cash players don't go 5 summons or more anymore. So Gamma Seal is really great to be able to get rid of stuff. And then I was kind of expecting to play some Dark World, so I threw in Droll, which really like hinders their ability to do anything. And then this could probably be something else as well. Triple copies of Raigeki, just as a board breaker in general. Just in case I don't have any names in hand and I can't really get my combos going. So I don't know, maybe there's stuff that I would change about the deck, adding Book of Moon into the main, or I don't know, putting it into the side or something. And then I went 2-1, which is fine. I ended up getting 3 packs, 2 for going 2-1 and 1 OTS on entry. So let's open these up. I've never opened up this OTS pack, and I don't remember what's inside, but let's open it up and see what we can get. Got Testudo Erat Newman, no idea. Contact with the Aqua Mirror, which is pretty neat. And then a Rescue Ace HQ. I've got Mischief of the Gnomes, another Erat Newman, and then Light of the Branded, which is really cool. But let's open up this Photon Hypernova pack and see what we can get. Got a Scareclaw Castira, which is pretty cool. Yaguramaru, the Armor Ninja. Evil Eyes Unleashed. And we've got Meteor Rush Monocroid. Gold Pride Nitro Head. Mental Tuner. Gishki Necromirror. Chaos Phantasm. And Sorry of the Silver Wing Axe. So, not the greatest pack. The Gold Pride is our Hollow. But yeah, that was my locals. I might go next week. We'll have to see. But yeah, if you guys want to see more, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, let me know. And maybe I'll go and...
Alright guys, that's it for this Sworsoul deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I really enjoyed locals. It was really fun. I went up against 1 Kashtira matchup and 2 Swordsouls. Kashtira was round 1. I went 2-0. Played pretty well, and it was pretty quick. Round 2, I played Swordsouls and got 2-0'd. My game 2 hand wasn't the greatest, and I just misplayed a little bit. But I can learn from that. In round 3, I played a second Sworsoul mirror match, and I went 2-1, which is awesome. You know, I ended up getting the win and going 2-1 at locals in just the 3 rounds. I did end up with 2 OTS packs and 1 Photon Hypernova, as you guys saw. Be sure to leave a like, comment if you want to see more locals videos, and what you might want to see next. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe for more fun videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. That's game.